and the Toastmaster submission. And I hope Toastmaster Dipanshu is ready for his speech before going to his army training. So let's call Toastmaster Dipanshu on stage. Toastmaster Dipanshu, beyond certainty, Toastmaster Dipanshu.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. By a raise of hand, show me how many of you agree that one of the most memorable trips are the one where the things don't go as per the plan. All right, wonderful. I see a few of the hands raised. So today, I'll take you to 12,000 feet above the sea level. No, we are not flying. We are on the ground. And this is where the story starts. After choosing a new path, a shortest one, I started descending from the peak of the trek called Churdhar. Churdhar is also known as the highest peak of the Shivalik range, also known as the Lesser Himalayas. And as I started descending from there, I reached a village called Noradhar. With complete power cut overnight, I saw my smartphone giving up in my arms in the morning. So, only thing which I was left as the Google map were the local village men. I had already decided a day before not to leave to Shimla because I heard a news that there is a potential chance of a landslide because of heavy rain yesterday. So, alright. So, upon reaching Noradhar, I asked the village men, how can I reach to Solan? Because that is where I came from, as Shimla was not the option. So I thought, why not go back to Solan again? So upon asking this question, the villageman told us, sir, you have reached the wrong way. The shortcut path you chose takes you to the opposite side of the mountain. So now, to go back to Solan, it's not very accessible and not would be a prudent choice to go with. Anyway, having an experience of hitchhiking before, I thought that's not a big deal. I can do that. I can take lifts from the stranger. I have done that before. Not going to be a tough deal for me. Alright, fortunate enough. I stood there for a couple of minutes and managed to get 2 lifts. And from there, I managed to charge my cell phone to sustain for the day, as well as managed to cover around 25 kilometers to reach to a village called Chofal. Meanwhile, in my past 2 lifts, I realized that there is something fishy. Though the village man had told me that the way I am choosing, that is to Shimla, because I had to leave to Shimla only because Solan is not accessible. So I have to leave to Shimla now. He told me that you will find traffic a lot over there. So I thought, okay, I'll get lifts. But meanwhile, in the past 2 lifts, I realized that there isn't any vehicle moving. Maybe it wasn't my day. Anyway, keeping the courage, and I kept on walking at Chofal. So, to bring my acumen to the point, I thought, why not go for lunch? It's already 3 in the afternoon, and I realized it is going to be a long day for me. I will have to walk, and at that moment, for the first time in the entire life I have traveled, for the first time I realized that where am I going to stay? Because, and I looked at the distance, it was around 100 and 110 kilometers. And Chofal is such a small village, in Hindi we call it Kasba. So that's how small it was. There wasn't any hotel or any homestays. So I was kind of stuck there. So I called my friend Nitin, brother, have you got any arrangements? Do you know any relatives where I can stay for a night? He said to me, no worry. If you come to Shimla, definitely I can arrange something. I can bring you to my PG. But for now, I haven't got any option. So yeah, the call went in vain. Now, after my lunch, it was already 3 in the afternoon. I took a decision. That I will have to walk. I will have to walk towards Shimla. Knowing that the advices which were given to me from the fellow people who had took the lift, that I will be having a hard time finding the lift because it is all a dense forest. And trust me, they told me that, sir, don't keep on walking if you don't find a lift. Come back to Chofal and ask any stranger, but that wasn't any option for me. I don't wanted to stay in any stranger's house. So I took the risk and took the bet, and I started walking. And trust me, that was the best concoct of the weather at that moment. It was a bright sunlight and the cool wind was breezing ahead in against my face. I could feel the wind caressing the contours of my face, my hairs, and that chillness in it. And it's a thin road walking going towards the Shimla. Now, at that moment, I am having around 25 to 30 kgs of weight in my backpack. I am climbing heavily, holding the straps of my bag, just hunching downwards and keep moving ahead, climbing up the road. And at the same time, a little anxiety was continuously striking me about what I had read of the black Himalayan bears. I was just hoping that I don't encounter any of it, but to encounter any person who can give me a lift. But anyway, those beauty and the scenic views just digressed me from that fear continuously. But still, at the back of my head, I had that worriness because I wasn't getting any passerby from that road. Anyway, after walking for a few kilometers, I saw a truck coming by, a red truck. I showed him a thumb. I showed my thumb out and I asked him for a lift. Fortunately, he stopped and I was happy. But my happiness lasted only for a couple of seconds when he told me, "Sir, we are just going to a construction site only 5 kilometers ahead." Anyway, I was thankful. They dropped me there. I again was on my feet, walking towards Shimla. Now, for a moment, after a while of walking, I met wonderful siblings named Kanupriya Didi and Vinitesh Bhaiya. As I showed my hand out again with a broad smile in my face, the Maruti Suzuki 800 stopped right in front of me. Maybe, I don't know whether it was the broad smile I showed them or the desperateness they sensed in me. They stopped for me. And I asked them, "Bhaiya, are you going towards Shimla? Because I am going there. And if you are, can you give me a lift?" To my surprise, they said, "Yes, we are going there." And I was at Cloud9 at that moment. And on the way, we discussed a lot about everything we could. They shared everything about the ritual, the history of the Himachal Pradesh. And to my surprise, yes, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand share a lot of commonality. Meanwhile, we were cruising in the valleys of Himachal Pradesh. A cool wind was just coming inside of from the window, and somehow I was managing a 6'3" stretcher of mine in the back seat of the Maruti Suzuki 800. But anyway, I was very fortunate to find them. We shared snacks they had brought, and they made me try the authentic cuisine of Himachal Pradesh, that is the Siddu, for the first time. And then we had momos, and ultimately at around 9 p.m. in the evening, they dropped me at the Shimla bus stand where I met my friend Nitin, whom I had talked in the afternoon. It was a long day, as I said, but I believe it is on the person who has ventured on the journey to make it a good day or a good long day or a good bad day. I think it was a better mixture of both of it. And yes, I took a refuge at the Nitin's PG, and it was a good night for me. I feel, as I said, the beyond certainty, sometimes things are not in our control, and we should not try to keep a control over the things, because let it be, let things unfurl, and that is the beauty when you go with beyond the certainty, that every moment is new, and that lets you embrace it. Thank you.